Lovely to see you. Hello, come on, that's it, fine, you're more than welcome. It's our little bit, it's what's cooking. And the Towcester Food Festival. My name's Katie. Gentleman on the camera is Glenn. He's got his glasses on, which means everything's in focus, which always helps to be able to see everything Jake does on the television screens. And then every so often, both myself and whoever's on the stage, this time it's Jake, will look to the left. We're looking at lovely Leslie, who looks after everything behind the scenes. So in case we've forgotten something, we'll just look to Leslie and she knows exactly what we're doing. So, that's the introductions. This is Jake Collins, Northampton lad, born and bred. Am I right?
Indeed, yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. Now working for a company called Hello Fresh. We'll talk about them as we go through. But you're very welcome. Very nice to see you. Are we having a good time?
Yeah.
First ever Towcester Food Festival. How fantastic is this? Let's hope it's the first of many. Right then, with all the instructions over, hang on. Somebody's nicked the rest of your wooden spoon.
Ah, yeah, I know. This was I thought it was rather cute though.
Cute, it's a cute little wooden spoon. We should talk more about that obviously as well. Right then, Jake, what are you doing for us?
So what I'm doing is I'm essentially cooking this recipe, which is one of HelloFresh's recipes. This is for an umami burger. I don't know if everyone will have come across umami. It's a sort of flavour sensation. It's the real savouriness that you get when you add sort of parmesan to pasta and like Worcester sauce to cottage pie. And what we've got is a lovely little product that's from a chef in Japan, where umami sort of got a Japanesey sounding name, hasn't it? So that's it comes. It's really sort of lots of seaweed and salty things that enhance the flavours of your food. And what I'm doing with that is this burger recipe, and I'm going to show you as well how you can sort of jazz our recipes up if you're a bit of a keen cook at home and you want to do something a bit further. So.
Okay, and the other thing is it's ideas for you as well. So if you didn't want to follow the recipe,
Indeed.
It's the beauty with recipes, it's a bit of a guideline. So there'll be things that Jake does, you think, oh no, I could do that yourself. So hopefully lots of ideas.
Yeah, indeed. So I'm going to start off. I'm just going to do some the chips as per recipe. So we're just going to start off by just wedging up our potatoes quickly, and we're going to coat these in a little bit of oil, and we're going to use some garlic salt. Garlic salt is a lovely way of getting that sort of garlicky flavour into your food, but obviously garlic has quite an easy burning point, so that garlic salt just sort of negates that issue for us. So quickly wash these in because we don't want these taking too long. We're just going to cook these from raw. No need to do anything further with that. So, lovely. Yeah.
Now up till not long ago, you were a head chef at is it Kislingbury at the Sun?
Yeah. So I worked at the Sun after various different positions. I've always worked in Northamptonshire. Very proud to be a Northamptonian, as we all should be. It's a great place to live, to work, and it's it's a lovely place to come and see my family in as well. So I'm just going to use a generous glug of that rapeseed oil, just to sort of coat my potatoes. Just give them a little toss over with your hands as well.
Now that rapeseed oil is local, 5 miles down the road. They are here. Is it Stanswick? I think it's.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it's Stanswick Farm rapeseed oil. Sorry, what? Stanek. Sorry, Stanek Farm. I've got my glasses on, love, as well. Stanek Farm, rapeseed oil. I love rapeseed oil. Wherever we go, we all support the local rapeseed oil. Talk about olive oil. You do everything you do with olive oil with rapeseed oil, and it's even better for you than olive oil. And it's local, so all the yellow fields that you get, support that. Fabulous.
Apparently, the Romans used to use rapeseed when they were occupying Northampton and living here. I'm going to just put these into a nice hot oven just to get them going. Now I've got that on the go, I'm just going to make a little tomato chutney. So this recipe calls for sliced tomatoes. As a keen home cook, you might find that a little tame. So I'm going to do a little tomato chutney. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quarter these tomatoes up. And then I'm going to use the seeds separately. I'm going to make a little salad dressing with those seeds to really sort of make sure we're not wasting anything. So I've just got my bowl over here, so I'm just going to take those out, watching your fingers obviously. So I've got the flesh for my chutney and my seeds to make my dressing with.
So do you miss the hands-on chefing in the kitchen?
I do. I mean, I love coming and being involved with food. It's a really great industry to be involved in. Not such great hours all the time, but that's all part and parcel. So I do like to get back in there, and I want to and I like keeping my hand in. Very much glad to have some more time to actually cook for myself at home now that I'm not in the kitchen quite as much, because obviously when you come home it's a bit of a busman's holiday to then make all your own dinner. So I'm just going to coarsely chop these tomatoes up to make the chutney, and I'll just reserve those seeds for later to make the dressing.
So you've had a nosy around the producer stalls.
Yeah, definitely.
With your chef hat on.
Oh, indeed.
Some nice ones.
Very nice. It's great to see the real range and quality of the produce that we've got coming out of our county, and it's a lovely suppliers here. And I mean, one of my passions is great quality ingredients. You start with good stuff, you're going to end up with good stuff. It's rather simple, isn't it? Just get that all going.
By the way, when Jake had said a hot oven, we have two settings on ours. It's either on or off. But if you were at home, you'd be looking at what, 240, 250?
Yeah, just a nice and hot. I mean, if you've got a bit more time, probably go a little lower and a little longer. But I'm just trying to make sure that I can get mine done against the time and get a nice colour on there. Hopefully, that's the aim of the game. We'll see, won't we? So, and I'm glad the weather's improving a little bit for us now as well. I know, hush, they mentioned. So, right. So there we are, chopped all those up. Now what I'm going to do, just use my onion. I'm going to use half of my onion for my chutney. And I'm also going to then save the other half of that onion to use with my salad again. So waste not, want not, kind of getting everything in there that we need.
I love red onions.
I think they're so great. They have all the flavour and more of any onion or shallot out there, and they're mild. Thank you. They're mild and you can do so much. I mean, caramelised onion. What a great ingredient that is, so versatile. So I'm just going to, of course, chop this down.
I love red onion.
And of course, as well, chutneys are one of my favourite things to make. But they're such a great one for using up all your leftovers, So if you've got something that's about to go on the turn and you're looking in your fridge going, oh gosh, that might need to go in the bin. If you can master a bit of chutney making, which really is quite simple. It's just a little bit of sugar and a little bit of vinegar to be your preserving agent, and then I think this is the one, is it? Yeah. Lovely. And then cooking everything down, just making like a sauce basically. Yeah, lovely, thank you. So I'm just going to let that heat for 2 seconds and pop a drizzle of that lovely oil in there again.
So if something's on the turn, you can make a chutney out of them. Does it work for husbands if they're on a turn?
I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure on that one. I think it's great for sort of soft things, tomatoes especially. But you can sort of go with the flow. I mean, have a little experiment. It's always great. I'm also going to use some sweet corn because I quite often find at home I get a lot of sweet corn left over. You open a tin to make a sarnie or whatever, and then you've got that bit of sweet corn. This is another great use for a bit of sweet corn going on. So once we've just warmed our little pan up, we're just going to put our onions in there with not too much of a heat before we do that. So we want to just cook them down gently to sort of release the natural sweetness in there. And when you put your onions in a pan, a little crack of salt in there will help speed up your cooking of the onions because it helps draw the water out, and your little softening and caramelisation will happen that bit quicker. And of course, a bit of extra sugar in there if you really are in a rush is a little chef trick of everything.
Well, people always think that the chutneys take a long time, but they don't.
If anything, this recipe is going to show you how fast you can make a chutney because this is super quick, and and it will last as well. This would last if you do your vinegar and your tomato, your sugar, and pay attention to it. I'm just doing a bit of a casual one like I would at home. But if you're going to cook to a recipe, you know that a chutney will last for you, depending on what your ingredients are, from a week to 2-3 months in your fridge. So it's going to be a really nice way of preserving those things that might have been on the turn otherwise. I'm going to use a little bit of smoked paprika in this recipe, as well as some harissa. So harissa paste, I think, is a great ingredient to use. I regularly cook with that now, and the smoked paprika is going to give it obviously a lovely smoky taste. A little bit more expensive than your ordinary paprika, but definitely well worth an investment. I'm going to add a little bit of my tomatoes in there. Sweat those down. I'm going to add my paprika just now as well.
That's lovely with sausages.
It
And
is,
also
yeah.
a bit of honey as well with the sausage. If you do them steamed sausages, of course.
Very
Smart.
much, yeah. If you're close enough, I don't know whether it'll waft out to you, but you can get the smoky smell coming off of that. And I'm going to use a little bit of tomato puree in a second. Actually, I'm going to let that cook a little bit more first, just to get that all going. While I'm waiting for that, I'm just going to use my brioche bun doughs. So a little bit of indulgence there. Brioche is just a bread that's been enhanced with butter. So we're going to use that. I'm just going to cover my brioche with a little bit of milk. I would have used an egg, but I rather forgot to bring my eggs. But milk will work perfectly fine if in doubt. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of dukkha on here. Dukkha is a lovely nuts and spice mix that's got sesame seeds in, hazelnuts, and various different things. Thank you ever so much. And I'm just going to pop that in with the oven for 2 seconds. Make sure we're not overdoing anything there. Just to set that in place on top of my bun and to warm my bun through a little bit as well. So we're going to go in for a little bit of tomato paste in here now. Just cook that down. We're also going to get a little bit of harissa paste. Go sparingly because it can be quite fiery. Lovely.
Put ginger in there, Jay.
You could, yeah, definitely use a little bit of ginger if you wanted to. I think it. I'd personally, I like the smokiness of the sort of.
Do you like ginger?
harissa.
Yeah. Do you have ginger in a lot of things?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had the last lady who was on, Jane, thank you, who's at the barn at Stoke doing a lovely crumble recipe with all sorts of ginger biscuits and lovely ginger ingredients in there. One of my favourite bits. While I've now got my chutney all sort of ticking over, got my sweet corn in there. It's a sort of chutney cum relish, this, which will go really nice with any sort of burgers or sort of cheeses, meats like that for your summer sort of stuff. Just have a little taste. Check we're. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. And you've got that nice little hit as well, which I'm going to then follow through with a little bit of this lovely chili cheese. We've got some great cheese suppliers here today, and what I'm going to do with my cheese is I'm just going to make a little centre for my burger that I'm going to do. So instead of putting the cheese on the top of the burger afterwards, I'm going to put my cheese in the centre so it melts nicely while we're cooking it. So,
Did you have that off here then, that cheese?
I didn't, because I picked this up on my way in, but I would have loved to have been able to grab some cheese today. Yeah, that's all nice. So, just get my gloves on. I keep my hands out of the mixture here. With your burger mix, I'm just going to use a little bit of ketchup in the actual burger mix. So just to give it a little bit of sweetness and cut through everything, because my umami's going to be quite salty, and so the sweetness that's going to add is just going to lift everything up a little bit. So I'm going to use, I quite like a good squeeze of umami, but I've got quite a salty palate anyway. So I mean, use according to your own discretion. So I'm just going to put about a large teaspoon and a half of mix in there, and I'm just going to mix that lightly round with my spice mix.
If you haven't got umami, which I mean I haven't got it in my cupboard, what else could you use?
Well, umami is actually surprisingly easy to pick up.
Is it?
You can get it from most major supermarkets, but you can just replace with a good handful of salt as a plain burger base.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take my bun out the oven here. Ooh, get that. So I've just stuck my seeds onto the top of my bun using that, and that's all lovely and warm and squidgy now for me. I'm just going to that.
Chefs don't use oven gloves, do you?
We don't, no. We always have a cloth.
Yes.
It's the first I used to get told by one of my first chef mentors. You really shouldn't be in the kitchen if you haven't got a cloth on you, because it's like not having hands. So I've just mixed my meat through a little bit. I've also let this come up to room temperature to work with a bit so that it sticks together for me. And now I'm just going to take a nice little size like that, a bit more maybe, and pop my cheese in. And I'm going to just sort of build my burger around my cheese. Ideally, if you've got enough time, you're going to let this now all chill out in the fridge, and you're going to let your flavours penetrate all into your meat and really develop nicely. So, I mean, if you're fortunate enough to have a few spare minutes in the morning, then you could do this before leaving for work, and then when you get home, you're going to have a really flavoursome meal going on. So I've now sorted that out. I've got enough there for a second patty, should I want one. I'm now going to just warm my frying pan up, which I have left backstage. If I could get that, that'd be fantastic. And my cheese out the way. So with my other half of my onion from earlier, while I'm just waiting, we're going to put this patty on in a second, get that going. Thank you ever so much. With my half onion from earlier, I'm just going to slice this down, and we're going to have some nice fine slices to go with my salad I'm serving on the sides with my burger, and that's going to be just add a little extra element, and of course help you use up your extra half an onion.
So I touched very briefly on what you're up to now with regards to it is recipe cards, isn't it? And I should is it like, I mean, I'm probably a bit crude for saying it's like a veg box scheme but for recipes, but it was the closest thing I could think of.
Well, not at all. I mean, that's my analogy as well. So it's a great way of getting your recipes delivered to your door. So we provide all of the ingredients and send it to you in a lovely cooled box. Get home, half an hour or a bit longer if you wish to spend that doing some extra little fun bits. Then you can just have delicious food. We're introducing people to different ingredients like this umami. What I'm going to do here is I've got my onion, and I've put that a little bit of water on that, just if you're at home, just to sort of soften the kick of the onion, because it can be a bit harsh, and that just takes the acidity away when you're using onion. So I've now not overworked my mince, so there's still a bit of texture to that. Just going to put that in a nice hot dry pan to cook for a moment. We're going to get that all lovely and browned, and then we're going to pop that in the oven to soften through the centre. Just take a quick little look over my wedges here, and looking good. Ooh, got an escapee.
Thought it was a bit too hot in there.
Yeah, indeed. So we've got to pick up a nice bit of colour and give them a toss around just every now and again to make sure they're even.
So how long has it been going then?
HelloFresh, yeah, it's been going about 2 years now, so it's doing really well. It's a sort of a Scandinavian concept initially. So the whole sort of idea of having your food delivered in a box can be a bit odd to an English market, I understand, but it is something that is really popular there. In fact, supermarkets are so sort of out of the game over there. It's rather fabulous in my opinion. I don't like supermarkets, but there we are. On average, you spend about 90 minutes in a supermarket each week, supposedly. So I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what I've been told in the past. It seems like an awful lot of time. I'm sure there's
Now you see, is that girls chatting?
yeah.
Maybe fellas are just as bad.
Well, indeed. So always the lure of the pub, though, I think, more than the shops. So it just...
So this, if you order this, then it would come, everything, and all you've got to do is put it together.
Yeah, so you arrive home, 30 to 40 minutes later you can have a lovely dish on the table, and it's just a really convenient, easy way to get some fantastic food to your door. Now I've got that all on the go, I'm just going to make my little dressing, so we're all ready for later while that's doing. So I'm just going to use the tomatoes that we use for the chutney. I'm just going to take the seeds, pass them through a sieve to get the juice out of that, so that I can get all that lovely fresh tomatoey flavour over my rocket later on, and of course create less food waste, which is always really important these days. Well, it's always been really important, but even more so I think in our day-to-days now if we can. That's a benefit of HelloFresh as well, is that you can, of course, you get all the portions sort of in the right sizes, so you don't get much food waste, and there's no menu planning involved here, so it's all easy, convenient, ready to rock and roll. So I'm just going to pop my burger now. I've sealed it off into the oven to chill out. While we, well, not chill out, cook up while we carry on. I've now taken the tomato juice in here. I'm going to use a little bit of balsamic vinegar to mix in with that, a splash of that, and then I'm just making this really simple vinaigrette. So we mix those together. Little crack of pepper, tiniest crack of salt just to bring out the flavour. And then I'm going to use a little bit of this oil again for dressings. I would recommend for dressings at home that you don't use completely olive oil, or I would suggest that you use a neutral flavoured oil and maybe finish with a little bit of olive oil just to lift the flavour, or indeed use our lovely rapeseed oil, you know, and it's a great quality product. Also with a little vinaigrette, a little chefy trick is just to pop a splash of water in that, a little dab will then stop the oiliness when you're eating that on the tongue. So I'm quite happy with my chutney consistency. That's pretty much where I wanted that to be. Everything's on the go. I mean, now if I was at home, it sounds like a cup of tea time while we've got everything.
Whoa. Wine.
Well. Cider, maybe.
Cider.
We've got some lovely cider producers here today. I'm rather keen on my cider though, I must say. So what I'm going to do when we dress the salad and the plate, because I'm probably going to go a bit quiet there because I'm do a bit of focusing, but I'm going to use this lovely rocket. I'm going to put a little bit of onion seeds on there, along with my fresh sliced onion and my lovely dressing, to sort of elevate what the salad that's going with this. We're going to have that lovely umami burger, that fantastic brioche bun here, so it's all going to work together in a real harmonious way. So I shall, it's just a sort of waiting on our lovely chips and burger now, and it's a great recipe. This I mean, burgers are really on vogue as a food product at the moment, like in the food industry. But we follow trends, but we also like to sort of keep a real mix of things going on with what we do.
When you were head chef, I imagine you were known for a certain dish. Because you do tend to have, I don't know, chefs like certain things. So what were you known for?
I don't think I've ever been a signature kind of person. So I do like desserts. I'm always keen to sort of do a bit of dessert stuff. Although, I mean, good, honest fare, I think is if that's where it's at, isn't it? If you get simple food, good quality product, then you're not going to go wrong, and it's going to be tasty and delicious. With our burger, we're going to cook that a little bit so it comes out a little bit pink, but I mean that's personal preference, and you, I personally take my burger a little bit more well done, but with it is becoming a bit more of an accepted thing now to have a slightly pinker burger. So I think that's it's a great way, because you get lots of moisture from the meat. You know, you get all the flavour in there still. So I'm going to have that out of the oven in a second now, and we should be all ready to plate up. But I mean, you've got some lovely guys coming on later as well, haven't you? To do some more demos.
You can tell our oven's not quite hot enough, can't you? Can you get that feeling? Yes, we've got Ondine Hartgroves, who was a master chef back in 2011 and now does private consulting and very specialises in sort of spice dishes. So I look forward to that. Then we're doing a bread demonstration at 2:30, and then at 3:30 we've got from the Red Line at Culworth Justin, who's going to be doing that. So yeah, lots to look forward to. Well, you've already mentioned that your burger will be a little pink. It is in a demonstration environment anyway, Jake.
Oh, indeed. Well, I'm going to go with the plating up now. So what I'm just going to do for that, I'm going to use the same pan as I had earlier. A tiniest drizzle of oil in there just to sort of lift off the flavours that have been cooked onto that pan. And I'm now going to toast my bun in that pan. So you'll see that lovely yellowness from all your lovely butter in the brioche. I'm just going to cook that.
So by putting that brioche in that rapeseed oil, guess that's making it healthier now.
Definitely. That's pretty much always what happens when you put things in oil like that. I'm sure. You'll notice, I'm sure, if you go to restaurants, chefs don't really worry about the calorie content. It's a good glug of cream and a block of butter here or there. No one's going to mind. But unless the chef's doing the accounting, in which case they tend to get a bit funny with you. But no, it's at home. You know, if you are watching what you eat, you know, you can use a lot of these oils for replacements for different fats. I mean, you get coconut oil is a really healthy oil to cook with and doesn't impart too much flavour. What flavour it does give is really subtle and lovely. So we're just warming and toasting those buns. Nothing too fierce on that. I'm now going to use a little bit of our lovely Mier mustard, which is this is apparently the mustard for the French aristocracy. So yeah, it's a bit of a posh one, but it does taste damn good. So they obviously know what they're doing, the French aristos. So this happens to have chanterelle mushrooms and chablis in it. This particular flavour. They do a lovely range of different flavours, and we work with them as a brand partner. So it's a lovely product. I'm just going to put a little bit of my chutney onto the other side of my bun, so that's all ready. And I'm also going to make a little chef quenelle to go on the side of my plate in a second. With that.
So who's doing all the recipes then back at base? Is it you as a chef? Is it another chef? Is it a team of chefs that work them all out?
So actually we're a really tight-knit team and we work closely together. Our chef Patrick is the lead recipe maker, but we all have input down to even our sales manager, and absolutely everyone has a little part to play in the sort of grand scheme of things. And we've recently been joined by Rachel, who trained at the Cordon Bleu in London, as opposed to the one in Paris. And she came top of her class, formerly a banker, no, an accountant, sorry, which is somewhat an important point differentiation to make these days, isn't it? So I'm just going to start by dressing my plate with my leaves, my lovely onions that I would have soaked in water at home. And then I'm going to pop a couple of nigella seeds onto this just to give it a bit of crunch and some really lovely extra sort of flavour to the onioniness of my salad. And of course we've got the tomatoiness coming in from our dressing there as well. Just going to get our lovely chips out now. Fantastic. So I would take these a little bit more coloured at home, but obviously so we can get back out there and get all of this lovely Northamptonshire food on the menu. We'll not worry too much for this. So get some lovely things, and this is going to have that really mild salt, garlicky flavour from that garlic salt as well. So It's a lovely product actually, garlic salt. Something I've only just discovered fairly recently. But flavoured and smoked salts are something you should be looking out for if you're a keen home cook to have a play about with.
There's a lovely one. It's apple smoked salt. It's just
fantastic. I have tried some lavender salt previously that was rather good stuff as well. And using lavender in cooking is an interesting choice for some people. So I'm going to put my little burger top on there, and so we're just going to pop a little skewer in each side just to hold everything together for us. Here we are. Our lovely gooey cheesy centre, soft brioche bun, lovely homemade chutney, salt chips and a sort of posh onion salad. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Collins. Thanks, Jake. Now then, are you letting people take these? Because it is the recipe. So if you wanted a copy of the recipe, okay, there might be a few things that you might alter if you haven't got certain things in your store cupboard. Or you might look at this thing, do I need to know more about HelloFresh? Then do come and see him. You've also got a stall.
We're in the food hall on the first one as you came in, and we've got a little stall there. We're signing people up to give the service a try. So if you've been inspired or you fancy giving it a go, then do come over and see us. And we've got a lovely show discount on today as well for you, lovely people. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
What I'll do is I'll knock his sound off and I'll park him down there so you can go.
All
And
right,
if you want to come and chat to him, please do. Any questions that you've got, so we'll knock his sound down. He'll come down there. Take your dish with you, Jake, because then people might want to ask questions. Super. Now we talked about our next demonstration, ladies and gentlemen, is in 1:30 because we're doing on the 1:30 hour. So 1:30 will be Undine Hartgrove. So Undine will be with us at 1:30, and we look forward to your company then. Thank you very much. Folks, just so you know, with regards to the food that's produced on our chef demonstrations,